The TBM is equipped with an articulation jack system for negotiating sharp curves. The cutter head is composed of a front and rear shield, and the articulation enables them to excavate these curves. The erector holds a segment for each stroke of excavation, assembling these segments in rings. The erector places each segment in place individually, and then places the key segment, completing the ring. The TBM uses a symmetric staggered joint construction. The embedded pumps in the backup cars pump A liquid and B liquid to the grouting units mounted in the machine. 2 grouting units pour grout between the segments and the skin plates, while the TBM performs excavation. This prevents subsidence and water leakage from between segments, as well as rapidly stabilizing segments. The additive pump in the backup cars pumps foam and polymer to the cutter head. Additive is injected by the cutter head while machine excavation is in progress, solidifying the mud. The screw conveyor carries excavated soil to the rear of the TBM. The soil is passed through a rubber hose to a backup conveyor and tunnel conveyor in that order, and carried to the rear of the tunnel. The use of tunnel conveyors is far more efficient than evacuation by muck cars. The rolling stock supplies new segments. The rolling stock is made up of a locomotive, 2 segment cars, and a platform. A crane picks up individual segments brought in from the backup and loads them one by one to the erector. EPB machines improve excavation efficiency and contribute to urban development.
There you have it, everyone. We just learned valuable pieces of information about the tunnel boring machine. And now, I would like to give the floor to our Contract Package 101 contractor, the Shimizu Fujita Takinaka EEI Joint Venture, or SFTE JV. Let us all welcome Mr. Roberto Jose Castillo for his message.
His Excellency Ambassador Kazuhiko Koshikawa of Japan, Secretary Arthur Tugade of the DOTR, Secretary Dominguez of the Department of Finance, Secretary Mark Villar of DPWH, Secretary Harry Roque, special for the Malacanang Press spokesperson, our friends from JICA, Eigo Kazukisawa-san, and Honorable Win Gatchalian, Chairman Benhar Abalos, members of the DOTR organization, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, good morning, magandang umaga po, Ohayo gozaimasu. We are very happy to be here this morning to celebrate the arrival of the cutter head of the first tunnel boring machine. In behalf of our partners in this consortium, Mr. Monoichiro Tsuchiya, who is now still under quarantine because he just arrived from Japan 2 days ago, and Ito-san of Takenaka and Motoki-san of Fujita, our partners in this consortium. We commit to you the best that we can do to try to finish this and make it partially operational, as the Secretary said, as Tugade said, by December. And we will try our best, and what we will do is we will hire as many people, as many as 6,000 people, direct workers and hires for the group to be able to deliver the project as scheduled and as required by our customer, the DOTR, and the people of the Philippines. We would like to especially thank the Japanese government for their financing of this project, and for the Philippine government for pushing a project like this, which employs a lot of people who are in need of employment right now. 6,000 direct workers at about 4,000 times 4 for each of the indirect workers who will be hired by our suppliers, funders, and subcontractors. There will be about 24,000 people who will be benefited by this project. And once this is finished, the people of Metro Manila will benefit from the use of this infrastructure. I would like to thank you all for giving us this opportunity to be a very important part of this milestone in the Philippine infrastructure history. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Castillo. To share us also his words and insights, may I call on our lending agency and development partner, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, also known as JICA. Let us all welcome Mr. Eigo Azukizawa.
His Excellency Kazuhito Koshikawa, Ambassador of Japan to the Philippines, Tugade, Secretary of Department of Transportation, Honorable Carlos Dominguez, Secretary of Department of Finance, Honorable Mark Villar, Secretary of Department of Public Works and Highways, Honorable Secretary Harry Roque, Presidential Spokesperson, Honorable Behar Abalos, Chairman of MDA, Honorable Congressman Wing Gacharian, and Undersecretary Timothy John Batan, DOTR, colleagues from Japanese side, partners from Philippine government, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga, ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning to all of you. First of all, let me express my deepest gratitude to the Department of Transportation for inviting us in today's ceremony to witness the arrival of tunnel boring machine of the Metro Manila Subway project for the very first time in Philippine soil. We congratulate the DOTR led by Secretary Tugade for achieving this milestone with a deep sense of commitment to ensure that the MMSP will become a reality soon. The tunnel boring machine that we are seeing right now is a gigantic proof of DOTR's effort in collaboration with the contractors, the joint venture of Shimizu, Fujita, Takenaka, and EEI, along with the TBM manufacturer GIM Technology, the consultants, the concerned local government units, and other stakeholders to commence construction works at the earliest possible time. It is also a tangible and unquestionable confirmation that the Philippines will indeed have its first subway line in this horizon. As your partner in this endeavor, we assure you that JICA will do everything it can to support the Philippine government and the DOTR, not only for this project, but for all of our other partnerships under the Build, Build, Build program amidst the difficult conditions we are experiencing due to COVID-19. I have always believed that difficulties often bring out the best in people who sincerely cooperate each other. This ceremony, along with the delivery of the first set of fourth generation LRBs for LRT-1 last week, only goes to show that the teamwork between Japan and the Philippines continue to flourish despite these challenging times. We look forward to cooperate with all of you further as we reach new heights in the implementation of these critical infrastructure projects for the benefit of the Filipino people. Congratulations once again, and thank you very much for your attention. ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, Mr. Azukizawa. Moving on to another respected guest who joined us today, we have the Chairman of Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA. Let's all welcome Chairman Benjamin Benhur Avalos Jr.
Good morning. Japanese Ambassador to the Philippines, Kazuhiko Kushikawa, Secretary Carlos Dominguez, Secretary Arthur Tugade, Secretary Mark Villar, Congressman Secretary Harry Roque, Congressman Wesley Gatchalian, JICA Chief Representative Aigo Azukizawa, Mr. Roberto Del Castillo. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm most honored to be part of another milestone in our country. Despite the onslaught of the pandemic, the Philippine government has never wavered in its commitment to better infrastructure, carrying out the mandate, build, build, build. Today's unveiling ceremony for the tunnel boring machine marks the beginning of a series of strategic actions for the realization of the Metro Manila Subway project, spearheaded by the Department of Transportation in partnership with the Japan International Agency. What is important is maximizing urban space and creating synergy of livable and sustainable space, simultaneously developing commercial spaces that attract local and non-local commuters. This adds value to the success of urban subways. As one of the mega cities in Asia, Metro Manila's growing urban challenges, namely the road and transport congestion, not to mention our metro streets that are used beyond their capacity, utilizing underground space proves more viable. As the first subway railway system in the country that will provide mass transport in the national capital region, the MMDA strongly believes that accelerating our mass transportation system with this unified subway station will steer us to the right course. We are inspired by this vision, and we are motivated to take part in this mission as well. Having this in the pipeline, we now look forward to kilometers of walkways with more safe spaces to enjoy the promise of a robust economy. Indeed, this is just one of the countless bold ventures. Talagang congratulations, Secretary Tugade, Secretary Mark Villar, of course, Secretary Carlos Dominguez, our President. As we face the headwinds of the future, we will rise above this current pandemic and stay on the course towards kaunlaran, our progress. Mabuhay po ang Pilipinas, mabuhay ang Japan.
Thank you very much, Chairman Avalos. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live here at the Manila Harbor Center, we present to you the ceremonial unveiling and ribbon cutting of Kaunlaran, the first tunnel boring machine of the Metro Manila Subway project. With this, may I call on the following officials to proceed in front and do the honors of unveiling and ribbon cutting. First is Ambassador Kazuhiko Koshikawa, followed by DOTR Secretary Arthur Tugade, DOF Secretary Carlos Dominguez, DPWH Secretary Mark Villar, Presidential Spokesperson Herminio Hare Roque Jr., Chairman of Metropolitan Manila Development Authority Benjamin Benhur Abalos Jr., JICA Philippines Chief Representative Eigo Azukizawa, House Deputy Speaker and 1st District Representative of Valenzuela City, Wesley Gatchalian, DOTR Undersecretary Timothy John Batan, Shimizu Fujita Takinaka EEI Joint Venture Mr. Roberto Jose Castillo, PNR General Manager June Magno, ASEC Fidel Igmedeo Cruz Jr., and ASEC Amard Ehe. Everyone, let us witness the ribbon cutting and unveiling of Metro Manila Subway Project's TBM number 1 kaunlaran in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. At this point, we would like to call on our honorable guests and officials in 3 batches for the photo opportunity. For batch 1, may we call on Akira Fukuyama and Carla Bautista from JICA, Embassy of Japan First Secretary Mr. Kudo Hiroyuki, Minister Masahiro Nakata, Mr. Hiromasa Yamamoto from SFTE JV, and Akihiro Fujiyoshi from OC Global JV. Thank you. For batch 2, we have Yusek Aneli Lontok, Yusek Gary de Guzman, ASEC Giovanni Lopez, ASEC Goddess Hope Libiran, and PPA General Manager J. Santiago. Also, we acknowledge the presence of NMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia. Also, we invite personnel from ICTSI and Harbor Port guests for the photo opportunity. As you can see, this is Kaunlaran's Cutterhead, the first major part of the tunnel boring machine that arrived here in the Philippines. Measuring about 7 meters in diameter and weighing around 70 kilograms, this cutterhead will break, cut, and grind the soil by rotating its disc cutters and scraper bits with a high contact pressure while moving forward with the vibration sensor device to anticipate the approaching soil. Of course, before this major part was delivered, Kaunlaran was 100% accepted according to the International Subway Standards, which was tested last December 2020 in the JAM Technology Factory in Yokohama, Japan. continue with our program. Thank you very much. Everyone, Kaunlaran, the TBM number 1 of the Metro Manila Subway project. This gigantic machine will dig underground and will lay the tunnels which will connect specifically the Depot and Quirino Highway Station of the partial operability section. Indeed, this project has gotten exciting. Joining us also in this remarkable event is none other than the presidential spokesperson of President Rodrigo Duterte. Let us all welcome Secretary Herminio Harry Roque Jr. for his speech.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Koshikawa, the best DOTR secretary that we've ever had, Secretary Tugade, the best finance secretary we've ever had, Secretary Dominguez, my favorite DPWH secretary, Secretary Villar, and of course, my seatmate, Chairman Abalos, to Mr. Ego Akuzikawa of JICA, to all the USECs, ASECs of DOTR, and all the departments represented today, good morning to all of you. On behalf of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, let me allow me first to congratulate the DOTR, the JICA, and the Japanese government for this historic and momentous event. Sa wakas po, magkakaroon na tayo ng subway. We were the first to have the LRT in the whole of Asia, and although we were a bit delayed in having our subway, now we can say we have truly modernized our transportation in this country. The arrival of this equipment is significant because it contributes further to what I have described as the renaissance of Philippine infrastructure. As you know, the President has many critics, and they will not stop until they regain power. But presidents will come and go. But in the annals of Philippine history, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte will be remembered for the renaissance of infrastructure, for beating COVID-19, and of course, for all the social legislation that he so shepherded, including universal health care and free tuition in state colleges and universities. Let today's event be recorded in the annals of Philippine history as another first of the Duterte administration, and to his critics, I have only this to say, manigas kayong lahat. Good morning to all of you.
Thank you so much, Secretary Roque. May we also invite the Secretary of Department of Public Works and Highways, Mark Villar, for his message of support.
Salamat po, Sec Art. At I'm so happy to be part of this historic event. You know, all this time when we go to Japan together, I would always be witness to the process of getting here. So it's such a pleasure for me to finally see the. So it's a pleasure for me to finally be here. It's an honor, Sec Art. Kahit hindi na ako mag-speech, okay lang naman sa akin. Pina-speech niyo pa ako. But I'd like to, of course, all my fellow members in the cabinet who've worked just as hard. Of course, our guru, our team captain, the man behind the driving force behind our economic policy, the bill, also the build, Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez, Secretary. Of course, we also have here our very hardworking presidential spokesperson. Napakagaling, someone I'd known for a while, especially in Congress. Very intelligent, he's a man who's unparalleled. So I'd like to welcome our presidential spokesperson, Senator. Pasensya. Secretary Harry Roque. Pasensya na, bagay kasi Senator, it rolls out of the tongue much better. So sorry, pasensya na Secretary, nakamali lang, tao lang po. And of course, His Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, it's a pleasure to be in your presence. His Excellency Kazuhiko Koshikawa, thank you, sir. And of course, we have here our MMDA chairman who's, believe me, during the implementation, the role will be critical in this implementation. With our projects, it's absolutely critical, the role of the MMDA, because they'll be the ones who are helping with the traffic management, and that's very critical. Our new chairman, Benor Abulos, sir, welcome. And of course, the I see behind him, GM Jun Magno of the PNR. Of course, Mr. Jay Santiago, the general manager of the PPA. And of course, we have with us our Deputy Speaker, Congressman Wesley Gatchalian. Yan. So, Sec, of course, TJ, galing mo TJ. For such a young guy to be able to accomplish such a momentous feat, it's really amazing. I'm so impressed with the whole team of the DOTR. Sec Art, like I said earlier, I don't really have a speech, but I remember going with you to Japan. You know, even though we're not directly involved in the subway, I was there to witness what you had to go through to get to this point. The work that you had to put in. I don't think anyone will ever really truly know or appreciate the hard work that it took to get to this point. And I'm saying this because I was witness to it. I was there with Sec Art in all the trips to Japan, in all the negotiations for the loans, the financing, the feasibility study, the detailed engineering design. It's years and years of hard work to get to this point. That's why this is a historic event. I can't say enough for Secretary Art Tugade, a man that I admire very much and I look up to. And I only hope that, Sec Art, I hope you continue your service because the people need you in one way, shape, or form. Sir, I think, you know, I've been in politics for a long time, been witness to it. There are very few people like you, sir, who can really help push our country forward. So, Sec Art, that's my wish, that you continue serving the country in some way, shape, or form. I don't know, maybe the Senate, ewan ko lang, maybe, but I think the country needs you, Sec Art. And I'd just like to say again, to get to this point where we are today, it's truly an amazing feat. Snappy salute to you, Sec Art, my idol, my Batman, and to the rest of the DOTR. You guys are amazing. You did amazing work, and I can't say enough about it. Congratulations. It's an honor to be part of this historic event. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Secretary Villar. This time, I would like to give the floor to another esteemed guest, the Ambassador of the Embassy of Japan. Let us all welcome His Excellency, Mr. Kazuhiko Koshikawa.
Secretary Arthur Tugade, Secretary Carlos Dominguez, Secretary Mark Dijal, and Secretary Harry Roque, and Honorable Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gatchalian, Mr. Roberto Jose Castillo, Mr. Eigo Azukizawa, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Magandang umaga po sa iyong lahat. It is an honor to join you today to welcome the arrival of tunnel boring machines for the Metro Manila Subway, following the delivery of LRT-1 light rail vehicles last week. We would congratulate the DOTR leadership for having achieved these milestones, one after another. The build program of this administration may seem to be a tall order, but DOTR continue to deliver. This subway project was first signed in November 2017 by our former Prime Minister Abe and President Duterte. Several developments came shortly after. Design was finalized, contract was awarded, groundbreaking ceremony for commencement of construction work was held in February 2019. We are now here witnessing Metro Manila Subway project gain more traction with the arrival of this first tunnel boring machine. This so-called project of the century for the Philippines have harnessed the power of tunnel boring machines packed with top engineering know-how of Japanese manufacturers, JIM Technology Corporation. As we start excavating a tunnel under this mega city, I believe we are also creating passageway to usher in a new era in the history of Philippine transportation. I'm excited that Japan is part of this important history. We will continue to support building quality infrastructure in the Philippines, utilizing state-of-the-art our technologies, sharing our expertise, and adhering to our fast and sure approach. Japan's long years of railway experience in design, construction, and operation is what we promise to share in the development of Metro Manila Subway. The same is true for the rest of our joint railway project, North-South commuter railways, LRT1 extensions, and MRT3 rehabilitation. Allow me to conclude by conveying my sincerest congratulations once again to the DOTR Secretary Tsugabe, JICA, and all the contractors for having come this far. Let us continue to hit ground running and make this much-awaited dream of Filipino commuters turn from blueprint into reality. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you so much, Mr. Koshikawa. Now, may we call on the hardworking and strong-willed Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Secretary Arthur Tugade, for his words of wisdom.
Sa inyo lahat. We are about to end this memorable activity. I would like to thank His Excellency, the Ambassador of Japan to the Philippines, sir. Thank you very much. I remember this is the fourth affair which you have inaugurated and on the project between the government of Japan and the Philippines and with JICA. I appreciate your oneness, I appreciate your effort, and certainly giving us your time, notwithstanding your very hectic schedule. Your participation today, as in the past and as will be in the future, is deeply appreciated. To my friend Aiko-san in JICA, I thank you for the continuing funding support being afforded by JICA. And I'm really appreciative that you are a strong pillar in the project of the Department of Transportation by providing the funds. Today, sir, I have a wish. I hope that one day the interest you impose on the funds you give to us will be reduced by 0.5%. And also, perhaps you can consider adding 1 or 2 more years in the grace period you have afforded. In that case, I will say that indeed, JICA's participation is truly a source of strength, a source of inspiration for us to undertake this project. I express my appreciation, deep appreciation to the contractor, the joint venture of Shimizu, Takenaka, Fujita, and EEI. Thank you very much, sir. Maraming salamat ho for handling this project. But more importantly, I am grateful to your commitment that the Philippines and the Filipino people will see the realization of partial operability, as you mentioned in your speech earlier, in December of this year. Believe me, sir, Mr. Castillo, I will hold you to that commitment. I'm also grateful to the members of the cabinet who are here, who, notwithstanding their very tight schedules, find time, notwithstanding that it's too early in the morning, to be here with us. I am especially grateful to Secretary Sunny Dominguez. As aptly put by Secretary Mark Villar, Secretary Sunny is our guru, our coach, our strong pillar in the economic team in the build endeavor. He has always been there, providing the guidance, the inspiration, and the funds for us to be able to undertake projects so that in due time we will achieve what President Duterte has committed, the golden age of infrastructure. Iba ho talaga si Sec Sunny. Words may not be enough to describe his commitment and patriotism, but all you have to do is to work with him, and you will see that there is a patriot in him working for the benefit of the Filipino people in the country. Sec Sunny, sir, maraming salamat po. Alam ko po na meron kayong appointment papunta na sa BRRM. Pero sabi ni Sec Sunny, magsasalita si Ambassador, magsasalita si Sec Roque at Villar. Maiiwan ako at papakinggan ko kayo. Sir, maraming salamat po. I'm also grateful to my friend, the Batman and Robin team of the infrastructure projects, Secretary Mark Villar, the youngest in the cabinet. Pero maski na ho pinakabata yan, hindi ho mahuhuli sa performance. Soft-spoken, quiet. Maski binabatikos at sinasabing ang infrastructure hindi matatapos, sige-sige lang si Secretary Mark. In fact, pinakita niya kung paano siya magtrabaho in quiet and as effective as he can be. Lately, naging operational ho yung Skyway 3. Sinasabi ko nga sa kanya, Mark, palagay ko pinatayo mo yung Skyway 3 para sa amin sa DOTR. Kasi ang opisina ho ng DOTR sa Clark, yung mga galing sa Manila, galing sa Quezon City, dumadaan ho sa Skyway 3. Noon ho, nagbabiyahe kami papuntang aming tirahan papunta sa Clark, easily 2.5 hours. Mr. Sec Villar, tumatakbo ho kami ngayon, 1 hour and 30 minutes, 1 hour and 45 minutes. Every day, I see the effect of your work. At surely and surely indeed, wala na hong 4 hours pa uwi. Kasi pag umuwi ho kami noon, Mr. Castillo, minsan 4 hours kami. With the Skyway 3, with the project of Mark Villar, wala na ho yan. Sir, maraming salamat at maraming salamat sa inyong pagdalo ngayon. Senator Mark Villar. Nagpapasalamat din ho ako kay Harry Roque, the indefatigable spokesperson of the President, na kung saan linalatag niya yung pulisiya, yung panukala at panuntunan ng Administrasyon Duterte. Nandiyan dyan ho yung sigla, yung patriotism at commitment sa kanyang pagpapahalaga ng pag-anunsyo ng panukala, panuntunan at pulisiya ng ating mahal na Pangulo. Salamat ho, Secretary Harry. I know that you have a trip at 10 o'clock, but you still found time to be with us today. Maraming salamat po. I appreciate and I express my appreciation to Deputy Speaker, Deputy Speaker Congressman Gatchalian. Alam niyo ho, taga Valenzuela to. Yung kooperasyon ng Valenzuela sa proyektong ito, talagang one for the books. the cooperation they have extended, magugulat ka. Pag kailangan namin ng clearance at permit, sabi ng mga tao niya, sabi ng tao ni Mayor Rex, submit the documents. Sabi ni Mayor Rex, saka na yung dokumento, approve, documents to follow, and we are able to move fast and quick with the quality performance in our project. Kong, maraming salamat, iparating ang pasasalamat namin sa siyudad ng Valenzuela at kay Mayor. Kung wala ho kayo, hindi namin maitutulak at maiusad itong proyektong ito. I give my appreciation and gratitude to the MMDA chairman. Alam nyo ho, notwithstanding the pressures of work and the personal, emotional thing that he is experiencing these days, nawala po ang kanyang mahal na ina. But notwithstanding, pumunta pa rin si Chairman Benhor Abalos dito. Sabi niya, Art, bago ako, magkaisa tayo. I will show my oneness with the Department of Transportation and the MMDA. I shall participate. Chairman Abalos, maraming salamat po. Last but certainly not the least, nagpapasalamat ako kay TJ Batan at yung rail sector na kasama si Jun Magno, kasama si Emard Ehe, sila ho, halos ilatigo ko yan at ilatigo ko para matapos ang proyekto. I know that I have pressured you and pressured you so hard in order to have this project. I thank you. But as I thank you, I assure you, I will pressure you harder and push you harder so that we achieve the partial operability at best and in my target, December of this year, at worst, and in the target of the contractor at worst, February of next year. Alam niyo ho, nung ginagawa itong programang ito, nag-usap ng isang programa yung ating mga rail sector upang sa ganun maisip at mabigyan ng pangalan yung unang tinatawag natin na tunnel boring machine. May contest. Pangalanan kung anong pangalan ng tunnel boring machine. Meron hong pangalan Pearl of the Orient Seas. Meron hong pangalan Kasaganahan, Kaligayahan, sari-saring pangalan. Ang nanalong pangalan sa kanilang programa ay Kaunlaran. This tunnel boring machine symbolizes its name, Kaunlaran. Today, we ask you as we applaud the coming of Kaunlaran, I ask you, join us in riding the tunnel boring machine and riding the first Philippine Metro Subway because ito ho ay paglakbay papunta sa Kaunlaran. Sa inyong pagdalo ngayon, maraming salamat po. Marami pa hong programang ating bubuksan at partially operate at ating tatapusin itong taon na to. Nang sa ganon, mabigyang katugunan at katotohanan ang sinabi ng ating mahal na Pangulo, make the Filipino life comfortable. Mr. President, Metro Manila Subway is one of the answers of DOTR in answering your clarion call of making the Filipino life comfortable. This tunnel boring machine and the 5 more that are coming so that we achieve partial operability by December of this year is our way of saying this morning, Mr. President, we are committed to making the Filipino life comfortable. Sa inyong lahat, maraming salamat.
Thank you very much for your insightful message, Secretary Tugada. Indeed, this arrival ceremony has been exceptional. This has gotten us to really look forward on the launching of Kaunlaran, the first tunnel boring machine of the Metro Manila Subway project. We can definitely say the pipe dream is now a reality. We are about to end our program, ladies and gentlemen, but before we go, may I request our officials and guests to participate in the photo session. Just a gentle note to our VIP attendees, TBM models will be distributed to you. And for other guests who will not be receiving the miniature TBM models, we will be distributing it to you separately to you or to your office. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our ceremony for today. Once again, on behalf of DOTR, thank you very much for your usual support and cooperation. And we look forward to engaging all of you in the next milestones of the Metro Manila Subway project. This has been your host, Eli, and thank you. Have a good day and keep safe, everyone.
Children growing, women producing, men go working, some